What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of my life as a former bodybuilder and a two-time stroke survivor. And I am living proof that your comebacks are stronger than your setbacks. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and comment below where you're tuning in from and if you're a stroke survivor. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification button. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And for my returning subs, welcome back. Appreciate you. Let's go thrive together. All right, 10 things that help me do better after having a stroke. And when you get a chance, write down your few things. It don't have to be 10. It could be 5. It could be 1 if you want it to be. Let it be something that you take note of, that you pay attention to, and maybe you could share this with your audience as well too. But before we get started with this, make sure, if you are new here, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make a comment if you have any comments on the 10 things that I'm going to name here. And subscribe to the channel. Once you subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I load up a new video. Okay? All right, 10 things to help me do better after having a stroke. All right, number 1, y'all keep up with them now. Keep up with them. Number 1, if you are having a hard time out here, just know that you're not alone, because this journey is definitely challenging, especially if you are an active person like myself. I'm a former bodybuilder. Okay? Surviving a major medical situation is not about recovering or being fixed in a couple of months, overnight, or a couple of months, or even a couple of years. You never know, because everybody's journey is different and everybody heals differently. It depends on a lot of factors. What you did prior to your lifestyle, what you're currently doing now. But the goal is to not do anything. Make sure you do not do anything. Okay? I know you want to lay down, take a nap, because we don't have that much oxygen coming to the brain. And that will cause us to get tired and fatigued very quickly. But monitor that, not just from you doing exercises or training or your occupational therapy and so forth. Just monitor it. Make sure you do things. I say if you just do something to improve yourself, I say it all the time, by 1%. Every day, you're that much closer to your recovery. Now, are you going to get full recovery? Nobody knows. Some people do. Some people don't. But know this is now your new lifestyle. Make the very best of it, okay? So, you've come over brain trauma. Like you had a stroke. You've overcome brain trauma. And that means your cognitive skills were impacted, your speech, as you hear mine, your mobility, your ability to put on your clothes, grab things, reach for things. I'm left side flaccid, so just know you got a ways to go, because you have to start all over again. Like you literally have to start over again. But the thing is, you're still here, okay? Like I said, your flexibility, your mobility, all this stuff was compromised. Your cognitive skills, they were compromised, okay? So give yourself grace. Give yourself some grace, okay? Don't be so hard on yourself. Number 2, engage in physical therapy. Make sure you have a physical therapist. If you're inpatient, then they'll provide that for you at the stroke rehab hospital. If you're outpatient, then see, the fortunate thing about me is I know how to do things because I was a personal trainer at one point in time. So I know what exercises you do to strengthen the areas that I'm flaccid in. I know about that. But if your insurance allows it, get you home care therapy. If you can get home care therapy, that'll be helpful too. If you're outpatient. But once you go home from the rehab hospital, there are things you can do at home. You may not be able to make it to the gym just yet, but there are things you can do at home. Now, if you want to check my Amazon wish list below, I have a lot of toys and tools that you can do and use at home to help you with your recovery and your rehab. Oh, I forgot to add to this. Also, when you get back moving, that reminds your body that there's still progress. That reminds your body, oh yeah, I remember she used to do this. Oh yeah, I remember. It's like that muscle memory. I'm sure you guys heard of that. The third thing is occupational therapy. Occupational therapy is therapy that helps you get back to your daily functions that you used to do. Learning how to tie your shoe, putting on your clothes, reaching and grabbing for things, buttoning up your shirt, or putting on your pants or your underwear, trying to open a jar, trying to reach for something in your cabinet. Now, they give you tools from the rehab hospital that you can use, like a little clip. But the thing about my household, everything in my house is either glass or ceramic. Excuse me, y'all. But that has a little weight to it. When your left side flaccid, but our right side dominant, you can still grab it, but you still have to practice picking up things, to build your strength and to be able to use that side that's flaccid. So, things like clean your home, do your laundry. That's all a part of occupational therapy. So make sure you get physical therapy and occupational therapy to help you get back. Again, that reminds the body of your motor skills. So make sure you include that. That's number 3. Number 4 is speech and language therapy. Now, when I first came home from the rehab hospital, the speech therapist came out and told me, well, you're talking pretty fine because you sound good. And at the time, early on, I did, but my speech started to get worse. Let me not say get worse. Let me say it started to decline from when I first came out of the hospital, the rehab hospital. He told me I didn't really need it. So what we were doing is making sure we got the things that I needed at home immediately, right away. Things like movement, physical therapy, occupational therapy, my medicine, my internal medicine doctor. So those are the things that I needed in the very beginning, because remember, those first 30 days are crucial. And even the ones after that. So you're not at the park yet. After the 30 days, you're not at the park yet. You're really not at the park now, depending on how you manage yourself. But when the speech therapist came to me, he stated that I didn't need speech therapy because I was sounding good, and I was at that time. So what I had to do is started to create my own speech therapy. I did my research, and I got things in my Amazon wish list to help me pronounce things, like a tongue twister book. I ordered that. I make these videos to help me with my speech, because sometimes my voice cracks. You can hear that every now and then. You can hear that the enunciation of my letters and my words, they tend to kind of crumble up a little bit. So you can do your own speech therapist. Remember remember is a hard word to use. If you can recall back what they had you doing back in rehab hospital, because I was sent home with a lot of stuff too. So I still have that paperwork. I was doing Sudoku. I was doing math problems. I was doing multiplication. I was doing all kinds of things to help me with my memory and my speech, because I talked it out. So make sure you use your speech and language therapy. That helps get the brain back into it too, because when you have a stroke, that's a nerve, that's a brain cell that's been impacted since the day of the stroke. It's been impacted. And sometimes you can have what's called aphasia or Wernicke. Aphasia and Wernicke are things that impact your speech. Aphasia affects your memory and your communication skills. I had that after, I'd say about maybe 6 months. I started having that because I was saying and doing things that my memory couldn't remember to do all that stuff. There's a lot of things I couldn't remember to do it. But my daughter was helping me with a lot of all of my financial everyday things, the business side of me. She was helping me with that. So yeah, when you make sure you have your language and speech therapist. To add on to that, sometimes I would stop in mid-sentence. I could have a whole conversation with you and just stop like this. Not intentionally, I would just stop because I don't know what to say next. It won't come out. That's part of the stroke too, because it's brain trauma. Okay? So my brain would literally freeze. It would freeze. And that's why, like I said, I make my YouTube channels to help me with my speech. And I go back and listen to them, watch them again anyways. So I said, I need to work on my W's, or I need to work on my combination letters like SW or TH or ST. I remember watching a video, I kept saying throat survivor. And I was like, it's not throat survivor, it's stroke survivor. So those are some of the things I did with the tongue twisters. It was the THs, the SWs, the whatever, any combination of letters that you would have to put together. I used to practice that as well too. Because the fifth thing that I worked on was, you're going to have to will yourself through this journey, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy on you. It's not going to be easy on your caretaker, family members that are helping you. You got to stay positive, y'all. I know it's easier said than done, because when you're in it, if you haven't had a stroke, if you have not had a stroke before, but if you've had maybe knee surgery, hip surgery, rotator cuff surgery, if you've gone through, cancer perhaps, or you've experienced going through that with someone, not you, they went through it and you knew about it. I'm talking about going through that experience with someone. You really do have to will yourself through this journey, because it's not going to be easy. I told y'all in my previous video, I had to will myself through rehab. I was in rehab for 30 days. I had to will myself through it, because I said that thing will mess you up mentally. Because first of all, I'm already in denial of having a stroke. Number two, I'm in denial of being in the stroke hospital. I'm in denial that I got to learn how to rewalk all over again. Hear the speech? So those are things that I have to work on. So yeah, you're going to have to stay positive, really. But it's easy. It is easy to fall into a deep depression, because you're used to moving. You're used to going. You're used to doing things. You're used to being busy. You're going to have to will yourself through staying positive, okay? Additionally, we are literally doing things. Be positive, because you're fighting to get back to a person that you're no longer going to be again. You're never going to be that person again. You're in a whole nother lifestyle. You're in a whole nother life cycle. You're fighting to get back to a person who no longer exists. Does that make sense? You're fighting to get back to a person who no longer exists. I'm a former bodybuilder. That doesn't exist anymore. Not to say it didn't happen. Not to say I'm not giving myself credit for doing that, because I did my thing, y'all. I did my thing with bodybuilding, and I love that. But will yourself to stay positive, because you're fighting for a person that no longer exists. Now fight for the person that you are becoming. I hope that helps out. Hey everybody, I'm going to make a part 2 to this, because I don't want this video to be too long. So make sure you watch the video that's attached to this video for the last 4 or 5 things that I do. Out of 10 things I do to help myself become better after having a stroke. Make sure you watch that video. It's going to be attached to this one as well, either at the top or in the description below.